Hey guys, Yoshi vs Joshy here, back with another Pokemon battle for you guys. I'd like to thank my friend Mac who gave me the footage for this video, otherwise there wouldn't be a video. His link to his Twitter and his YouTube will be in the description below. I'd also like to thank you guys for being patient with me and giving me the time to make this video because life's been a bit busy lately. And also Lauren's link will be in the description below to her Twitter. So thanks guys, and let's start with the battle. So I lead off with my Xerneas and she leads off with her Kyogre. I feel pretty safe at this point because Geomancy will allow me to take a lot of Origin Pulses, Scalds, Thunders, etc, because it boosts my special defense. So her Kyogre Primal reverts into Primal Kyogre, bringing Primordial Sea. So I choose that it'd be a good idea to go for the Geomancy to get my special defense boosted, and the fact that Thunderbolt would basically go for a team, pretty much. So my Power Herb activates, allowing me to use Geomancy in one turn instead of two. So my special attack raises, my special defense raises, and so does my speed. So her Kyogre decides to go for a Scald, which I was a bit surprised about, because Scald's a move you rarely see, and as you can see it does nothing. Thunderbolt barely misses on the KO, and she decides to go for the Earthquake, and I was scratching my head at this point. I was like, why Earthquake? I go for the Moonblast, which obviously +2 Xerneas is going to take it out. So her Kyogre faints and the Heavy Rain gets lifted. So she sends in her Groudon, and I was calculating if it'd be a good idea to stay in against the thing or not, and obviously I stayed in. So her Groudon's going to Primal Revert to Primal Groudon, bringing the Desolate Land. But I calced the Moonblast and I found that it does way more than I expected it to. As you can see, it pretty much nearly wipes it out, leaving it with like a sliver of HP. And she goes for the Earthquake, which obviously is going to take me out at this point. Wasn't expecting to live. So my Xerneas faints to the Earthquake, so I send in my Swords Dance Extreme Speed Killer Arceus, and I go for the Swords Dance, being able to set up on it since it has no way to one-hit KO me. And she goes for the Ancient Power, which I was like, please don't get your stat boosts, and what do you know, she gets all 6 stat boosts, which I was like, okay. But thanks to Extreme Speed having priority, there was no way she could exactly damage me after that, so I go for the Extreme Speed, and with the Silk Scarf and +2, it takes it out. So the Primal Groudon faints and the Heavy Sunlight fades. So she sends out her Blaziken, which obviously Arceus having 120 in each stat, I expected the Protect, but I was thinking about going for another Swords Dance, but like the risk was kinda, it wasn't that great. So I go for the Extreme Speed. I wasn't 100% sure if it was gonna die, but to my surprise it goes down in one hit, which was pretty fortunate because a Fighting type attack would have probably killed me. So she sends out a shiny Aegislash, and I fortunately have Shadow Claw, which barely misses up on the knockout and activates her weakness policy. So after her weakness policy giving her +2 special attack and attack, she changes into attack mode and goes for the Secret Sword on my Arceus, which obviously is just going to wipe me out straight away. So Arceus goes down to the +2 Sacred Sword. So I decide Darkrai is the best way to go because even +2 can't take me out since it's resisted. So she goes for the Shadow Sneak, and either way, if she'd went into stance change or just went for the attack. So instead of using Dark Void and setting up with the nasty plots, I decided to just kill off the Aegislash because I didn't want to rely on RNG to secure the win. So her Aegislash goes down to the Dark Pulse, which was obviously no chance it was going to live. So she sends out her Xerneas, and I was kind of worried at this point, because if Dark Void didn't hit, it would have been pretty much a good game. So I go for the Dark Void, and fortunately it hits, and the Xerneas goes to sleep. I was hoping that it doesn't wake up next turn. Obviously it has the guaranteed turn of sleep. My bad dreams obviously takes hold and takes a tiny bit of HP off her. I go for the Sludge Bomb, which I obviously wasn't going to kill because I didn't have any boosted stats. Thank God that her Xerneas stays asleep, otherwise if she'd went for the Geomancy I probably would have lost the game. But I go for the Dark Pulse just in case she wanted to switch into anything, and her Xerneas obviously dies, which was fortunate that I didn't screw around with Dark Void missing. So she sends out Mewtwo, which if there was any Pokemon that could get her back into the game would be probably Calm Mind Mewtwo, but thank God that my Darkrai was still here, otherwise it would have been a bit difficult to take out this thing because it's got amazing stats. So I go for the Dark Pulse. Obviously it's not going to kill it because Mewtwo's stats are really good. So her Mewtwo lives with a sliver of HP and goes for the Aura Sphere to kill off my Darkrai, which, whatever. If there was any Pokemon that could have brought back the game for her, it was probably Multiscale Leftovers Lugia, because that thing is extremely broken. But I send out my Soldew Latios and just decide to overkill it with the Psyshock, hoping that it'd take it down, but unfortunately it barely kills it, but I wasn't expecting it to. So she goes for a recover again, and I was expecting this, so I was just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just go for the Draco Meteor and basically wipe off the face of the earth. So I go for the Draco Meteor, unfortunately it doesn't miss, and Mewtwo's HP just drops, and that's the game. So it was a close match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will try to do more Pokemon videos in the upcoming months. Thank you guys for being patient with me. This has been Yoshi vs Joshi. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.